Three sectors to absolutely consider if you are thinking about investing your savings in sub-Saharan Africa. I had two criteria for the sectors on this list. 1. Potential for high return on investment. 2. Potential for high social impact, in particular for poverty reduction. That is why you will not see real estate on this list, because although it has great potential for high return on investment, it has limited social impact unless you are building affordable housing. But by all means, please buy land and properties if you care about high return on investment to build wealth. Nothing wrong with that. It still adds tremendous value to the economy. Now let's jump into it. The first sector to invest in is agriculture and agribusiness. The main reason is that there are many people to feed on the continent, and we are failing miserably to do that. Countries across the continent rely on large imports of food items that can be produced locally and create jobs. Production is low because of many factors, including limited access to financing, limited access to improved seeds and animal breeds, limited irrigation, etc. And you would agree that these are not terribly difficult challenges to solve. And because of the low production and other factors like the lack of adequate transport infrastructure, the continent has the highest rate of food insecurity. So investing in agriculture could not only be very lucrative, but also have a very high social impact. If you are thinking about investing in agriculture, you can acquire agricultural land, which is still relatively cheap in many countries, and produce crops or vegetables, or do animal farming such as poultry, pig, rabbit, sheep, and the list goes on. Another problem is the fact that due to the lack of transformation, certain crops perish. So investing in agribusiness to transform agricultural crops would also add tremendous value to the economy. The second sector to consider investing in is education. Many African governments are struggling to provide critical public services such as education and healthcare. Take a look at the second grade classroom for my home country of Burkina Faso. It has more than 200 students in one classroom. Let me ask you this. What do you think these students are learning? In this more and more globalized world we live in, how can these students compete against their peers for admission at universities and in the labor market? So, if you have the means, build a school from the ground up. Hire and train teachers who love teaching and are not just teaching because that's the only job they could get. But building a school from the ground up will require a lot of capital. So you can also think about starting an after-school tutoring center. Why tutoring centers? Well, because public schools, when they do exist, are underperforming. Even private schools are underperforming because many of them were built purely for profit making. So remedial tutoring can help to close the learning gap. The third sector to consider investing in is waste management. Some of the world's fastest growing cities are in Africa. That is because the majority of the African population still lives in rural areas. However, the African population is projected to double by 2050, and 2/3 of this population increase will be absorbed by urban areas. Cities are already producing a huge amount of waste that is piling up on the outskirts of these cities. And as cities expand, the need for waste management will only intensify. So you could buy a fleet of tricycles to go around and collect garbage from people's houses for a fee. In many cities, houses are not connected to a sewage system, so they have to rely on septic tanks that must be emptied from time to time. So you could also acquire a truck to empty septic tanks. The gaps in these sectors will only intensify with time because of the fast-growing population. So, put your savings to good use by investing in one of these three sectors. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and see you in the next video. So long.